In this video, we're going to learn everything there is to know about engineers. We're going to pay special attention to flamethrower units, as well as anti-personnel and anti-tank miners, as well as field engineer and all sorts of fortifications in the game. Flamethrower is not only really fun to use, but it's very practical. I will go as far to say that it's one of the best weapons an infantryman can have in this game. It's exceptionally good when it comes to dealing with enemy fortifications of all sorts, dealing with enemy bunkers, trenches, foxholes, cleaning enemies out of the buildings in urban environments, especially on the Eastern Front where pretty much all the buildings are made out of wood and will easily burn. The entire village can catch fire. French countryside with bocage, with trees, anything will burn will benefit the flamethrower. Well, where the flamethrower actually suffers a lot would be the open field, because the range of this thing is very short. Therefore, you can easily get outgunned and outranged by the enemy. But if used correctly, flamethrower can be very powerful versus enemy vehicles, even tanks. Before we do anything, let me just press I and check the inventory. So besides the flamethrower itself, we have kind of extra fuel in the bank to use if we need to. If you want to resupply your flamer, you have to go to an engineering truck. So fuel truck or ammo truck would not help in this case. You need engineering truck to resupply. I'm running the editor mode, so I'm not going to need any extra fuel. But if you're playing real game, then yes, you would. We're in third person. I'm just pressing E to go into third person, and if we're firing with this thing, you can observe something very interesting, and that is that it's not really firing where it should. You can see where the cursor is and kind of goes to the right. This only exists in the third person. If we press T and switch to direct control, it doesn't exist. I have no idea why they haven't bothered to fix this and what is causing this bug, but it's kind of awkward. Another thing that you can tell from this is that the flame itself is not flat. It has kind of a parabolic trajectory, and you can use this to your benefit. Let me get out of this. If you want to kind of guess or learn what is the range of this thing, you can press F6 and then easily tell if you have the range to shoot somewhere. You can use this with a tank, with artillery piece, with a soldier, it doesn't matter. So the range is about 41. Between 40 and 41. And if we want to fire, I'm just going to turn this off, sorry. It would be much better to use the third person, because look at this. I can hit that house for sure. Look at this. It's not a problem. It's kind of an exploit in the game. You can use this with tanks, when shooting enemy tanks, with AP shots. You can use, for example, this with Bazooka or Panzerschreck or Panzerfaust to get extra range from the third person. Although your accuracy will be, to a questionable degree. How do you actually use this thing? I prefer to use it in direct control, because you can kind of better tell what happens where you move. You can sometimes, if you will need extra range, of course, just press D, switch to the third person, but it's a bit more difficult to aim or to see things from this position. As I said, this thing is excellent when it comes to dealing with bocage or scrub or trees. We have like enemy patrol over here, and in order to clean them up, you can just start fire. It doesn't matter where you started. For as long as there are trees in the vicinity, they will burn. And usually soldiers that are attached to this will also start burning. Once the soldier starts burning, there is no helping him. He will die. And you cannot really control the soldier. He cannot really shoot at you, so you're good to go. Do not touch burning soldiers, because you yourself will catch fire. This is very effective if enemies are coming from a specific direction and you cannot really see them. Because, they have cover. If you encounter enemy sniper that keeps killing your men, just burn everything. Burn everything down and you'll be able to see them. Really practical. But remember that I said that Flamer is exceptionally good when it comes to clearing buildings. And I'm going to demonstrate this in a few seconds. So over here we have basically two enemy squads in these two buildings. The way to clean it up is usually to aim for the windows. And just like that, the entire squad is gone. Super efficient. We also said that this thing can deal with enemy vehicles, but there is a difference. Let me just showcase something. That's really cool. That's really cool, though. There is a big difference in open-top vehicles like half-tracks and tanks. So with half-tracks and scouting vehicles that have open top, what you need to do is just like aim a little bit, start fire, and all the soldiers inside will die. For example, this half-track has 12 Panzer Grenadiers inside. They're all gone. So it's super, super effective versus half-tracks in open-top vehicles. But versus tanks, it's a little bit of a problem. But if you want to get rid of vehicles, you aim for their engine. For these vehicles, their engine is at the front. This is an indicator of flame. We're going to wait a little bit. Then we're going to hear kind of a cracking sound, a little bit of an explosion. And that's it. This vehicle now is unusable. When it comes to tanks and self-propelled guns, usually their engine is at the back. It takes a couple of, shots with the flamethrower. But again, it will burn until you hear the kind of an explosion. And now you can deal with the crew. As you can tell, Flamer has an optimal range. Maybe if the enemy is too close, they will not catch fire. We can burn this one easily. We should be able to, though. Yeah, we can. But the tank itself would not burn. You do not have to be like exactly behind it. Well, it will be the best. You can aim at the kind of a proximity of the engine, usually, and that does the trick. Although heavier tanks are more fire resistant than maybe smaller vehicles, in my opinion. Again, we're gonna wait for the tank crew to bail, and then we can burn them. You can also get rid of any type of anti-tank gun, artillery. Super effective. And that's how you use a flamethrower. There are two types of miners in this game. AP and AT. AP stands for anti-personnel, AT stands for anti-tank. And if we click on AP miner, press I, we can see his inventory has 16 anti-personnel mines. They're usually smaller, they have less explosive. While the anti-tank miner has only 8 or 9, depending on the case. Well, you can differentiate between these guys because they have different icons. They have engineering icons, but this one is smaller, AP. This one has a mine that's bigger and in diameter, so that's anti-tank mine. You can also tell them from another part of their squad by just looking at their pouches or bags or on their hips. This is where they carry their mines. In order to quickly mine the battlefield, what you can do, you can click over here for anti-personnel miner, or you can go over here to item options and then select mines, just left click, and then you go from one side of the street, or you start wherever you feel like you need to mine, and then you draw the right click like this. And your miner will go to work. You can do this with anti-personnel, or you can do it with anti-tank mines. Let's do it over here. It's an easy way to block off the street or area. No problem. Even though anti-personnel mines are meant for infantry, they can also deal some type of damage to wheeled vehicles. So, for example, we have a half-track. And yes, half-track is an armor vehicle, but its wheels at the front are vulnerable to mines. So let's see if we go forward. Damaged. Yeah, even the engine and the hull is kind of a damaged for this one. So you can cause some kind of damage with the lighter vehicles, especially if they have wheels. If they have tracks, then probably not. But let's see what happens once this one hits a mine. Depending on the position of the mine, sometimes you can trigger the mine with the back side of the half-track of the vehicle. This is where maybe everyone will die. Oh, these guys caught fire, unfortunately. If it's from the front, then, some of them will survive. But let's see what happens to infantry once they discover the minefield. very destructive. So AP mines are not that good versus vehicles, especially not good versus armor vehicles, but they're excellent versus infantry. Let's test and see what happens to kind of a medium type of tank. This is actually stock 3 once it hits the mine. So we're gonna try to run over a mine. And we actually did sooner than I expected. One of the tracks is completely broken and the hull is damaged. So we barely touched the mine over here and caused serious damage to the vehicle. Sometimes the entire vehicle can get destroyed depending, again, where the mine is triggered. If it's triggered directly under the vehicle, if you're rotating, it can cause severe damage to the engine, a transmission, or something else. We placed one mine under the King Tiger, so let's see what happens when this one is triggered. As you can tell, this is where the mine was triggered, but vehicle continues to move. As I said, there is a big deal in momentum, so this is why you want to spread out your mines a bit. Damage is not great. Only one track was damaged and can easily be repaired. Anti-tank mines were effective, but slowing down enemy armor, destroying tracks. Can we do a bit more to heavily armored units? And the answer is yes. So one of the tricks you can do, if you know that the heavy enemy armor is facing you, you can actually go towards your mine. But this only works for anti-tank mines. Anti-personnel mines do not have enough of an explosive to trigger additional explosions. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our other mines and we're just going to pull them over here. Left click and drop them around this area. We can also do something else. Maybe loot enemies for magnetic mines or satchels. Satchels is very, very powerful. So let's even do that. Usually 2 mines are enough. More than enough to do this. But we're just gonna, you know, have some fun. Drop multiple things. And we're gonna drive our King Tiger over it to see what happens. Let me switch real quick. Take a bit of a speed. Okay, we actually managed to trigger those mines over there, which is very fascinating. But the damage was already caused. As you can tell, now everything is damaged. Transmission is red. We have the engine is orange. Both tracks are gone. The hull is damaged itself. I think even the gun is damaged. So this is a very, very serious damage to the tank. Very difficult to recover. The question is if they're gonna have enough of repair kits to fix it. In the previous section, we talked about the enemy vehicles being able to move through the minefield. Even though sometimes they can be heavily damaged or even completely destroyed, their momentum will carry them further, and therefore they can trigger some additional mines and make your minefield less effective. In order to mitigate the situation, let's go back to mining. We're gonna hold shift, and by holding shift you get extra control. If I'm not holding shift, like, there are specific squares where you can place mines, but if I hold shift you can see that those squares disappear and I fully control where the mine's gonna go. So let's spread them out. We still hold shift and left click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe 9. So by holding shift and creating extra space between mines, you're maximizing your minefield. If a vehicle triggers one, then another vehicle will have to bypass it, trigger another one, and this is how it rolls. Even if the mine gets destroyed and kind of pushes the vehicle at a side, you still have a good chance of actual other mines hitting the targets. So this is by far the best way to place, especially anti-tank mines. With anti-personnel mines is more of a hit of a miss situation, but anti-tank mines should be placed like this. You should be prioritizing roads, even in the open field. Here it's kind of obvious that vehicles can move only down the road, but even in the open field, vehicles prefer roads, tanks prefer roads because their pathfinding is hard-coded this way. Vehicles move faster on the roads, and therefore AI, when deciding how to go from point A to point B, will decide that the road is the fastest option. So even if in the open field, even if part of the road is blocked by enemy wreckage, they're gonna get out of the road and then come back on the road to continue moving, and this is where they're gonna hit the next mine. So mining roads is very important, especially mining them with some kind of space between. If we want to get rid of enemy mines, the best way to do so would be essentially to use Field Engineer. Field Engineer, if we press I, has a mine detector or metal detector. Has something else called the Trench Pickaxe, but we're going to talk about it a bit later. So if we double click over here, he will pick it up. And you can see a bit of a radius around him. This is where he's able to detect enemy mines. And if you go over here, just right click, he will continue to move, and all the mines in this area will be spotted. As you can tell, this is anti-tank, this is anti-personnel mine. So as soon as you spot the mine, it's deactivated. You can run over it. Nothing will happen. You will not be able to trigger it. Alternatively, in order to click and select mining equipment quickly, you just click Shift and then D, and then left click. Shift D, and he will pick it up. Very practical.
Right on it, sir.
What's really cool about these mines is that you can essentially pick them up. If we press C, now I can pick it up and becomes part of my own inventory. I can actually place that mine back. We can take anti-tank mine. Not a problem. We can go over here and we can drop it. This is really cool, but usually if you're pushing up the front lines, enemy machine gun fire, mortars, everything will be down on you, so make sure to use sometimes smoke to protect your miner from doing a very dangerous job. If you do not have a miner and you want to deal with enemy mines, you know they're out there somewhere, sometimes it's a good thing to use explosives. Maybe hand grenades are not the best in this case. But if you have anti-tank grenades or if you have explosives, let me switch real quick. Maybe demolition kit would be pretty good. I hope I don't step on the mine. And just run back. If there are any mines in this radius, they will explode. They will be triggered by this. So it's a very good way to demine. It's not 100% accurate. Sometimes there will be some leftover mines, but it's very effective. Not only field engineers can deal with enemy mines successfully, but they can construct a lot of things. And many of them have different equipment. So this one has wire cutters and demolition kit. Then there's a field shovel. It's a very standard equipment for pretty much every soldier, and we can build a foxhole with this. Then we used mine detector before to detect enemy mines, and of course what makes this guy really special will be trench pickaxe. This is the tool that actually allows him to construct different things. Well, if we go to emplacement options, we can see that there are small and large sandbags, as over here. These things can protect you from small arms fire, and to a degree versus like a large 20 mil or 30 mil rounds, that should be okay. Everything above that will probably destroy them. Then we have a barbed wire, and we use it against enemy infantry to prevent them from just getting here. As you can tell, it's working really well. And if you have a guy with cutters, then you can just hover over the barbed wire, and he will be able to cut it, which is really cool. Alternatively, you can go over here to item options and then cut wire, but there is no need for that. You can just hover over and then click, he will do it. If we go back to the original guy, we have also tank barrier or anti-tank barrier, as you can tell over here, and it's usually should be before the barbed wire, because the barbed wire can easily get destroyed by vehicles. you don't need a tank. You can use just a truck and just drive over it, and it will get destroyed. So your infantry can pass. So first, anti-tank barrier to prevent vehicles from crossing, and then barbed wire to prevent infantry from moving. Over here we have a small foxhole. Then we can construct. Pretty much everything that you can see here can be directed. For example, the same as you use with mines, right click, and you can kind of draw wherever you need to go, or whatever you need to do, you can do it. Alternatively, you can place multiple things. You just need to hold shift. Like this, like that. The same as with mines. The only difference is that now you have direction of your choosing. Then we have a large foxhole, and this one is good for the entire squad. Like, if you place it, you can place the entire squad in it. Provides a lot of cover. The problem is that it can be destroyed. Anything can be destroyed, usually with 105 or higher caliber. All of these things can be demolished. Then you have mortar trench that's used to hide your mortars inside. You can even put your heavy anti-air gun like 88 for the Germans, 85 for the Soviets, or 90 mil for the Americans. And then we have this one that's a tank trench. Usually these things are deeper than they look over here, but this is the case because I'm an editor and kind of layers are mixed up. But if you go over here, you can see how deep this thing is. Whenever you're constructing stuff, if you look over here, there is something called building material. Your engineer starts with about 100, and the more things you construct, the less building material you will have. If you need to replenish, you have to go over here to engineering truck, and for as long as the engineering truck has building material or supplies, this guy will get resupplied, so you can build even more. Additionally, you need to understand that some things that need to be dug in cannot be built over pavement or concrete. So if I go over here, I cannot build a foxhole simply because it's concrete. You cannot dig in the concrete or pavement for that case. But on the ground, that's very much possible. Something to remember. And when it comes to dealing with enemy obstacles, we have a single option. That would be to use explosives. As we said, if you have TNT or satchel, you can use it to demolish this. Let me just go over there. You can just click, or you can choose it manually if you like. Like that. And then you run away. Very good. Now the road is completely open. It blows up everything. Barbed wire, anti-tank equipment, so everything can be destroyed. You can alternatively use your HE shells from your tanks, but usually they're indestructible unless it's like 100 or 100 plus millimeter HE shell. Finnish heavy engineers deserve special mention at the end of this video, simply because they can do what no other engineer can. So if we go over here to emplacements, they can construct everything else, but even more. For example, this guy construct a coastal gun emplacement, which is really cool. We're gonna put it over here, and then we're gonna take another guy, and we're gonna build a proper concrete bunker facing over there. Bunker can be constructed easily with just like 30 seconds or a minute. Well, this one is more complex. It has a couple of stages. We're gonna click over it once again, and now we have to click the third time in the center, and this will be done. It took 3 stages to build the platform first, and then kind of parapet, and then the gun. So this gun can be used in different roles. Can be used in like anti-air, anti-tank. It's amazing what you can do with Finnish heavy engineers. Of course, bunker is also operational. You can put your infantrymen over there, especially suitable for machine gunner. It's excellent protection. Again, everything can be destroyed in this game, but you need like a very large caliber gun, especially for the bunker, to destroy it. A good thing to remember is that engineering truck comes with a lot of equipment. We can see a lot of anti-personnel or anti-tank mines. We can see satchels, wire cutters, anti-tank equipment. It's excellent.